Hey everyone, Lickety Split here with episode 3 of our box of tabletop series for Warhammer 40,000 Combat Patrol Orks. And we're going to be starting to work on our Beast Snagga Boys now. Let's start working on the paint. I'm going to be concentrating my demonstration mostly on the champion here. If something else is different on one of these other guys, like his eye, then I'll switch to them. Alright, let's get them out of the way and get started. First step we're going to do is we're going to work on the skin. I try to go for the big areas first, and the color that we're using is a 4-to-1 mixture of Gutripper Flesh and Lahmian medium. We're going to make sure our brush is pretty well loaded, and we're going to just start going at it. Go section by section. There's one section. And there's another section here. And there we go. And you're also going to have to go back and get rid of where it pools in. Just touch your brush off, and then you can absorb some of it. Okay, I'll move on, finish this up, and be right back. Okay, one thing I forgot to mention when I was talking about the skin is that you need to make sure that you leave the bottom lip without any color. I'll leave it the base color, because you're going to go back and do it another color later. And if you don't do a good job on it, like I didn't really do here, you just kind of go back and touch it up with the base coat. In this case, a little bit of Wraithbone. Okay, be back. Okay, on our next step. Next step, we're going to be applying some Flesh Cherry Red. It's again another 4-to-1 mixture. This is pretty standard for me, so we'll just be. I'll use a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. So we'll be doing, like, for this particular guy, we'll be doing this skull. We'll be doing the eyes and the openings on the shoulder plate, and then this little bit back here coming out of the spine. So be like here. Like so. Get this boss pole. And then any other iconography they have on their shoulder pads, some will have designs, that sort of thing. Some guys have little teeth coming off the edge. Just whatever you want to do. I'll be back. Oh, and on the boss here, we're going to be doing it also on this little tube coming out of the back into his bionic arm. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, for next step, some of these guys have these little Tabards cloths hanging from their belts. Not all of them do, but some do. So we're going to go ahead and do these. First color is going to be, again, a 4-to-1 mixture of Imperial Fist and Lahmian medium. Just like so. And don't forget the back sides of these. Alright, I'll be back. Okay, going to move on to our next color. Next color is going to be some Snakebite Leather 4-to-1 with Lahmian. And we can use this on the fur. Make sure you load up your brush good, and you can just spread it out. And if you're painting large areas with this stuff, this area isn't too large, then you constantly want to go back and recharge your brush, right? So you have plenty of it. Don't worry about wasting a little bit of the contrast, because the results is a little bit. I think better results is worth a little bit extra paint, but that'll be up to you. So just get it around, recharge your brush, load it up, and then when we're done doing this part, done getting all the Snakebite Leather on there, and we'll go around and we'll start worrying about the pooling. There are a couple other recipes that I'll have. They're down there at the bottom of the screen, along with this one that you can use, but the method of putting on is exactly the same. So now we'll touch off the water, wash the brush, touch off the water, and we'll go through and kind of get rid of some of the pooling. And I got 3 other options down below that'll work just as well and give you some variety. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, we're going to move on to our next step. Next step's going to be doing the pants. And this particular variety here is going to be a 2-to-1 mixture of Wildwood and Lahmian medium. I'm going to have 2 more options in the text below that you can do, but again, like the furs, the process is exactly the same. So you load up your brush, you get it spread out, then you get it applied all over the place, and then you go back, touch off your brush, right? Get rid of the water, or wash your brush, touch off the water. There we go. And then you'll work on any pools. It's very important that for every step you're going back and making sure you don't have and then accounting for the pooling, because it can look good when you put it on there and you think, oh, it's great, and you go back after a little while when it's dried and it's like ugly pools everywhere. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, next step we'll do will be one of the options for the scales. It's going to be, you're going to do a 4-to-1 mixture of Terradon Turquoise over this. Contrast, okay, go on, get and play on your brush, recharging your brush frequently. As usual, try your best to avoid these little spikes on his back, because otherwise you're going to go back later and touch them up before you do them. And oops, see, I did a little bit of a mess there. So we're going to go ahead and fix that real quick. So you rinse, wash the brush, touch off the water, make sure there's a little water on there, and then we can go in there and scrub it off. Just work it a little bit. Dry off your brush, and then go in there and soak up the water, and that's gone. Okay. All right, I'm going to finish this up and be back. Okay, on our next step is going to be a 1-1 mixture of Sigor Brown and Contrast Medium. And we're going to be using this to do all the leather. Now earlier, when I did the skin, it kind of overlapped here a little bit, you can see. But I wasn't worried about it because I knew with going to do this in a dark Sigor Brown, it just covered right over it. So you kind of overlap from one area to another, where that area you're overlapping into is going to be done in a real dark color. Then you don't have to worry about touching it up. If it's going to be done in a lighter color than what you're doing, then you need to go through and touch it up. Okay, I'm going to finish this guy up and be back. All right, we're going to move on to the next color. Next color is going to be a new one for the channel. It's going to be Army Painter Broadsword Silver. It's one of their speed paint metallics. So we're going to go ahead and put this on here. This one is supposed to basically do your shading and your base coat all in one, and even some highlighting. If you don't have this paint, then you can use Citadel Iron Breaker and then give it a non-oil wash, and you'll get about the same thing. That one will be a little darker than this one, but it'll do the same. Get you the same steps. All right, I'm going to finish this up and be back. Okay, on our next color. Next color is going to be a 4-to-1 mixture of Black Templar and Lahmian medium. We're going to do two things. We're going to use this to shade the Terradon Turquoise we did earlier. And we're also going to use this as a base coat on another, on one I haven't done yet. That way you'll get 2 steps in one, with one color to kind of help speed up the process. So you load up your brush pretty good. Work in sections. Frequently reload your brush, recharge your brush. You go there, and this you just go over it, spread it out nice and even, like so. Okay, I'm going to finish these guys up and be back. Okay, we'll go on and move on to our next step. Next step is going to be some 2 parts Black Legion to 1 part contrast paint, and we're going to use this on the boots and the claws. And this could also be, if you wanted to, another option for your furs or scales. So just make sure you load up the brush. Nice, good, long strokes. You want to do this stuff. You want to do nice, long, easy strokes like this. Like so. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and finish this up and be back. Alright, next step is going to be some Seraphim Sepia. We're going to put this on any part, like here, that we're going to have be white armor later. Not too worried about that dot there, because we'll just go over it later with first steps. And painting the white after this is some Corax white, which is an extremely good paint at covering other things up, so I'm not going to worry about that much. Alright, I'm going to finish up the rest of these guys and be back. Okay, we're going to move on to the next color. We're going to start shading the skin, and we're going to be using some Biel-Tan Green to get in there and do that. Get on there. Get it in there. Like so. Make sure you avoid the lower lip. I'll do it around the face. Just keep working around, spreading it nice and even, like so. All right, I'm going to finish all these guys up and be back. Okay, on the next step, we're going to start working on the iconography that we painted on, or the red parts, and we're going to be doing it 3 different ways. You can either put some Agrax Earth shade over, like I'm doing here, or like I'll do here, you can put some Caribou Crimson over it. Oops, a bit of a much. Spread that out. Or you can just leave it alone. So with one base coat, you got 3 different colors. Like I'm trying to show you, is you want to, for army painting, you want to keep it efficient and not do a bunch of extra steps that you don't need. Okay, I'm going to finish these guys up and be back. Okay, we're going to move on to the next color. Next color is going to be some Reichland Flesh Shade. And we're going to use this in all the little cuts. That you see on their bodies. Some have more, some have less. Just go ahead and search them out. And then put some Reichland Flesh Shade in it. Okay, we got one here. That. There. Got some more up here. Try to get it just in the cut if you can. Okay, I'm going to finish these guys up, and I'll be back. Okay, we're going to move on to the next color now. Next color is going to be some Ork Flesh. And we're going to be using this to highlight the flesh of the skin. Just trying to go for the higher points. You know, rounded edges, muscles, edges, cheekbones, eyebrows, that sort of thing. It's one of the reasons why I like using these contrast and doing this after I do contrast and shade paints, because it kind of shows you where all of the higher spots are. So just don't have a ton on your brush and kind of build it up. This is the way I do it. That way I can get it looking the way I want. Alright, I'm going to finish this up and be back. Move on to the next color. Next color is going to be some Deepkin flesh. We're going to use this for a very light dry brush just to bring out just the ridges of some of the details. Just like so. You know, do stuff to catch the knuckles. And like kind of reline the face. Maybe a little bit on some of the muscles, but not much. Something quick and easy like that. Okay, on to the next color. Okay, we're going to go on to the next color. Our next color is going to be some Flayed One Flesh. And we're going to use this with a small brush. I'm using a double lot here just to pick out the edges along the wounds. So like here, you just go along here, just fairly subtle. It just kind of picks it out. Helps define it just a little bit more. Okay, that's it for this step. I'm going to finish up and be back. Okay, move on to the next color. Next color is going to be some Iyanden Yellow, and we are going to use this any place where we put the Imperial Fist earlier. Alright, I'm going to get to the next one and be right back. Okay, we're on to our next color. Next color is going to be some Ironhands Steel. We're going to use this to highlight and edge highlight the Army Painter Broadsword Silver that we used. If you don't have the Army Painter and you have Citadel, you can get the same effect by doing Base of Iron Warriors, and then go ahead and wash it with some Nuln oil, and you'll get a little bit darker effect than this. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest and I'll be back. Okay, we're going to be moving on to our next color. Next color is going to be some Bold Titanium White from Pro Acryl. You can use White Scar in place of this color, and you get basically the same result. So we're going to go through and kind of relay and highlight the places where we just painted the Corax white. Avoiding the Seraphim Sepia recesses and stuff like that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and finish this up and be right back. One thing I forgot to mention with this is that I'm not completely covering up the Corax white. I'm going to be leaving that, so I'm kind of like going in the middle, like so. So then I've got a little bit of Corax white. I've got the Seraphim Sepia. Kind of add some depth. You don't have to do it this way. You can just go straight over the Corax white if you prefer. I'm just doing it this way. All right, I'll be back. Okay, on our next step, I'm going to use some skeleton horde for any of the bones and stuff. I already got a little ahead of myself and did the skeleton horde here. But on this guy, we've got it on his belt. Little teeth. Get some skeleton horde on there. We're also talking about stuff like the spikes here and these little things hanging out, and these little teeth thing hanging off of everybody. Okay, I'll get this done and be back. Okay, now we're going to take care of the lower lip. I use one of two colors. I use either, this one's Turquoise Violet, so you just get a little bit more on your brush than that. Put it on the lower lip, kind of shades it. Okay, next color is going to be some Screaming Skull. We're going to use this to pick out the teeth. And don't go all the way up to the gums. Leave a little bit of the lupus pink that we painted earlier at the bottom of the tooth for effect. That's probably too much. Just be careful, go through and pick them out. If you go over a couple teeth like this, where it's kind of like one big tooth, you can go back and give it a little dab of the lupus pink and it'll separate them out. Okay, I'm going to finish these up and be back. Okay, on our next step, we're going to work on this guy's eyes. I forgot to do this earlier. I did this with the Broadsword Silver, this here. And now on the eye here, we're going to put some Vallejo Game Color Metallic Silver. There we go. Okay, now on our next step. This step we're going to use some Spiritstone, but it's a Citadel technical paint, and it's made to go over silver like this. But you could probably just do an ink like a ball red or something like that if you really wanted to. Let's get it off the edge there. I want to keep it inside so we see that silver edge like so. All right. On to the next step. Okay, we're going to work on the eyes now. And the color we're going to be using for this is some Evil Sunz Scarlet. And we'll just be putting it right on the eyeball. Like so. Now I use a double out brush for this. And because there's so little paint on here, in between each figure I wash it off and start again. Okay, finish this up and be back.